Welcome to How Good Is. Today we're going to take a look at Ebony, who is maybe one of the most overpowered characters that we've seen so far at the time of her release. So if all you want is the TLDR is that she's basically one of the most overpowered characters in the game right now, but more specifically, she's a dark Magia beast, an absolute beast at that. So why is that? Let's actually take a look at that. So she has 3 XL, so she's an XL Gorilla, which already is kind of insane, with the type being Magia. It's kind of the best combination of discs and type that there probably is in the game. But also, her attack is kind of insane. I didn't even have this on my radar when she first released, but yeah, her attack is actually kind of insane, which is pretty good because that's kind of the most important part of her. Her connect gives MP restore, and MP restore is probably the #1 most important effect on a connect if you are playing a Magia team. The second most important effect being damage up, which of course she has, and then it dazzles, but that part is not that important, right? But it has like the #1 and #2 most important effects on a connect, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? So we're already off to a good start. Everything so far is looking pretty decent. And then we take a look at the doppel, Apibis. And I'm imagining this name, Apibis, having the red B in it when you actually type it out. And if that's because, if you take a look at its effect, it's kind of busted in like a really crazy way. So first off, it does attribute from damage. Already looking pretty good, but it's one enemy. Okay, maybe this character is not that good because it's only a single target doppel. But then it multiplies dark damage by 8% for every single time you use it, because you can stack this if you use it quickly one after another. So that's good. It also gives 35% attack up. Well, that's pretty good. It gives 35% attack up to dark attribute characters, which is that's looking pretty strong already. And then it also gives yellow damage increase. Like, hold up, I can't even, guys. What? Okay, let's pull this back for a second. You guys know how I've kept going on about how Mikage is a really great support because she gives attack up and damage up both at the same time, and both of these effects are just really important because they're like the 2 main sources of increasing the damage that you deal to enemies is on one hand attack up and on the other damage up. Getting both of those sources at once is a multiplicative effect to your damage and is way better than just having a lot of either of these things. So for example, 80% attack up buff is not as powerful as a 40% attack up together with a 40% damage up. Like, mixing is way better than just having a lot of just one of them, which is why Mikage was so incredibly powerful, is that you just had both of these parts fitting together really well. Another one was that she had Excel draw personal, but probably Ebony doesn't have that, so we don't need to worry about that. But here you also have the attack up and the damage up at the same time, so already looking at the same kind of buffs that Mikage has. But on top of that, we're also getting the dark attribute attack up, which means that we are further increasing attack up. And you know how I just said the 80% attack up versus, 40% attack up and 40% damage up. But what if you could have like a really high attack up? What if you could have like a 70% attack up and the 40% damage up? Wouldn't that be way better if you didn't have to choose between these 2 situations and you could just have both of these situations at the same time? Well, welcome to fucking Ebony, and she's kind of crazy for that. So these buffs are easily the best buffs that we've seen on any character, and on top of that, she destroys enemy resistance to dark damage. So yeah, this multiplies your dark damage by 0.08, which is like 1.08, which is nice. We didn't even, this double did not need to have this. If this effect didn't exist, it would already be overpowered. But overpowered is not good enough for Ebony. She needs to be more than overpowered. So we're putting this on top of already the overpowered buffs. So this is probably one of the best, maybe even the best doppel in the entire game. Well, that's a bit hard to tell because Kurue giving MP restore. MP restore is kind of important because you kind of want to use your doubles a lot, and having MP restore on the double to team is actually kind of good. So it's either the best double in the game or like the second or third best double in the game, but it's up there. It's up there in the top 3 best doubles in the game. So this is actually kind of busted, okay? Keep that in mind. But at least the spirit enhancement. Surely the spirit enhancement will not be that overpowered. Surely a character with the best or one of the top 3 best doubles in the game could not have one of the best spirit enhancement in the game. And I can tell you guys, she doesn't have one of the best spirit enhancement in the game. But it's like top 10, which kind of, yeah, maybe it is one of the best spirit enhancement in the game. So it's kind of up there. So she gained 7.5% MP gain up, which, a Magia character who has the best modifiers to your MP already, like it's a 20% bonus MP to both attacking and defending. You already have that. On top of that, you also gain passively 7.5% MP gain up. Okay, now we're talking, okay? Then you regenerate MP every turn, which also gets increased by the MP gain up, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that regenerate MP effects get increased by MP gain up. So yeah, down here you have a 50 MP 2 turns for 2 turns. This also gets increased by the 7.5%, and of course any other MP up effect that you might have on you from your Memoria also increases both of these numbers. So if you have like a passive 20% MP gain up with including this, then you're already looking at a crap ton of MP every turn, especially for the first 2 turns. So yeah, it's actually looking kind of goated already. Anti-Mag is still cool. And you negate a Stellar's Aemon. Fucking why not? It's kind of the note that you just put on random characters and they like it. Like, you're not gonna say no to an effect like that, because sometimes you go into battles like 100 Evils, for example, or EX challenges where maybe enemies use a really nasty effect on you, not Magia Seal, but something like a stun or a curse, and you don't like that, and you just negate the first one. Nice. But then we get crazy, then we get a bit wacky over here, because she also increases Dark Attribute attack up and Excel MP for everyone for 15%, infinite turns when the battle starts. So as soon as she just is in the team, if you just put her in the team, everyone gains 50% Excel MP up, as well as 50% Dark attack up. Now this sounds a lot like an EX ability, in case you guys remember the EX abilities from sort of Exceed characters, right? They would, like, for example, Final Tart, who would just have a 10%, at least I think it's 10% damage up passively, it was like an EX ability, or a Madokami who gives everyone Stellar's Aemon resistance just passively. I know that there have been other characters that do something similar. For example, Shizuka does that, gives the entire team a buff or something like that. I think Himina also as well. I think it's supposed to Aqua attack up. I don't know how many of them were infinite turns and not just 5 turns, but to be fair, 5 turns versus infinite turns is not that big of a deal. But the point is, she has an ability like that, even though she is not, as I would call, like a hyper special character. Like Shizuka, she's the leader of a faction. Himina, she's the leader of a faction. Ebony is just some pasty white girl who really should have been tan instead, and she has that. She just has that, okay? And on top of that, her active gives you more Dark Attribute attack up, because of course it gives Dark Attribute attack up. Like, of course it fucking does. Why wouldn't it? To everyone for a turn, as well as Magia damage up. And all of this is looking a little silly. It's looking a little wacky at this point. Like, they just gave her the best of basically everything. The only thing she really needed more to be like more overpowered was like, imagine if one of these notes was, instead of like double damage and Magia damage, instead of one of these notes was like Magia start. Like, you start the battle with 20% MP. If it was something like that, that would be crazy, right? But she doesn't have that, okay? So she's not 100.1% overpowered, she's only 100% overpowered, okay? She's making sure that she's not so overpowered that she would get like banned from the game or whatever. That would be imbalanced, you know, like if you read some patch notes for online multiplayer games where suddenly you read in the patch notes, this champion, this hero has been removed from the game because they were too powerful, or all their abilities have been nerfed by 20%, okay? Ebony is not quite like that, because it's not that kind of game, but she does have some limits. For example, she doesn't have a personal that gives Excel draw, right? I mean, we haven't looked at a personal, but certainly it's not going to give Excel draw at 4 turn cooldown. Oh my fucking god. The other Memoria that's in her gacha gives Magic damage up as well as double damage up in Dark Hero. Like, oh, come the fuck on, guys. Guys, can we stop putting everything that's overpowered in this specific gacha? This might be the best gacha in the entire fucking game when it comes to just being strong. Like, this is one of the best gameplay power gachas in the entire game, probably since release, because this Memoria is kind of fucking overpowered if you ever use a doppel, especially on the dark characters. But even if you don't use it on a dark character, these modifiers are fucking insane. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than what the fuck did the developers think putting a character this fucking overpowered with a Memoria this overpowered in the game? At least one thing we can say about this is that most of this power only comes for dark units. So if you're not a dark unit, you're missing out on some of the power. But even outside of dark units, she's pretty fucking overpowered. It's only that she's more overpowered for dark units. But she's still overpowered without that. So yeah, that was that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do the subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.